Welcome to Across Africa, our weekly look at stories from across the continent. I'm Georgia Calvin-Smith, and this week, exclusive photos show Russian mercenaries believed to be of the Wagner group operating in Mali. Hundreds are deployed in Senegal, about 200 kilometers from the capital Bamako. Also, Ethiopians in Lalibela marked the Orthodox Christmas under the shadow of conflict. Known for its historic rock-hewn churches, celebrations were held in the historic town that, just months ago, was occupied by Tigrayan rebels. And Senegal's national dish has gone global. Thieboudienne means rice with fish in Wolof, and it's been added to UNESCO's cultural heritage list, an acknowledgement of the central role that the meal plays in the country's story. But first, a France 24 source has revealed photographic evidence of mercenaries from Russia's controversial Wagner group operating in Mali. The paramilitary company was hired by the country's military junta despite the presence of French, European and African forces in assisting in the fight against jihadist insurgents. Karis Garland has more.
These are the first images of troops from the Wagner group in Mali. Russian mercenaries wear military camouflage but no distinctive insignia. The convoy travels in these armoured vehicles. The photos were taken at the end of December in the south-central town of Senegal, 200 kilometres from the capital.
They will be a part of a larger contingent, which is spreading all around this area. We're talking about central, southern Mali, of about 400, 450 strong forces, people say. I mean, our sources are saying.
The role of the troops is unknown. For the moment, Malian authorities have only admitted to the presence of Russian trainers as part of strengthening the national defence and security forces' operational capacity. However, a landmine explosion last week appears to contradict that statement. A blast south of Mopti followed clashes between Russians and jihadists. Several sources claim that a Russian mercenary was killed. The Wagner deployment is being closely monitored by the French military. Paris has previously said any stationing of Wagner militia would be incompatible with the presence of its own troops. The paramilitary organization has caused controversy through its involvement in Syria, Libya, the Central African Republic, and the conflict in eastern Ukraine.
Lalibela is a pilgrimage site for Orthodox Christians in Ethiopia. Those who were able to celebrate their Christmas there this month particularly appreciated the event this year, as just months ago the historic town was occupied by rebel forces. Our Maria Gerth-Nicolescu reports.
Each year, thousands of worshippers gather around Lalibela's churches for the Orthodox Christmas celebration. But this time, the holiday occurs in a particular context. 1 month ago, this town in the Amhara region was still occupied by Tigrayan rebels. For almost 5 months, residents stayed at home.
Because the Tigrayans were here, and because of their actions in Lalibela, we didn't know if we could celebrate. It's very nice to see so many people. I'm happy to celebrate the holiday with such a large number. For our community, this is beyond our expectations.
Lalibela's rock-hewn churches, classified as World Heritage by the UNESCO, usually attract tourists from all over the world. Izene and her husband stayed up until early morning. They traveled from the United States following a call by the government to the Ethiopian diaspora.
We just wanted to see how safe Ethiopia is, and also there are people who are damaged, and the buildings are destroyed by TPLF. So it's gonna take a long time, but we're here to help, like not only one time, like for the future until everything goes back to normal.
The war has damaged parts of northern Ethiopia, but Lalibela was relatively spared. Residents, however, have yet to recover from violent intimidation and shortages of food, electricity, as well as medicine. Life is resuming, but some don't feel like celebrating.
I'm still scared. I'm not feeling happy. There is a rumor saying that they will be back very soon. Around my mum's area, they did many bad things. They were trying to kill my younger brother.
Although Tigrayan forces have left the Amhara and Afar regions, the conflict is far from over. Airstrikes have been reported in Tigray as the region remains inaccessible and is still struggling to survive with little humanitarian aid.
Tunisia is bracing for a fifth wave of COVID-19. Infection rates are climbing and more than half of all cases are of the Omicron variant. So far, more than half of Tunisians have been double vaccinated, but that uptake is still lower than authorities hoped for, and a drive to apply vaccine health passes has sparked some opposition. Lalibela and Hamdi Tlili report.
In downtown Tunis Saturday, about 100 people gathered to voice their opposition, both to getting the COVID vaccine, but also the government's vaccination pass, which people are legally required to show at work, public buildings and supermarkets.
There have been a lot of problems since the vaccination pass was put in place. Many employees were harassed by their management, and some were even suspended from work because they didn't have their pass.
In universities, the return to classes has been chaotic. About 70% of students boycotted exams, some because they were given no time to revise, and others because they didn't have the vaccination pass.
Some people didn't get the second vaccine dose. Others say I'm free to get vaccinated or not.
Student unions managed to get the pass suspended in most campuses.
What happened should serve as a message to authorities, because in this climate of fear and anxiety, young people need to be reassured and convinced to get vaccinated, rather than a confrontation or a threat of failing an exam.
Authorities have set up a complaint system for problems with the online vaccination pass system. Meanwhile, there's a rush to administer third doses.
So we're close to 1 million for the third dose. What's good is that the number of those who've gotten 2 doses has surpassed 6 million.
The rate of uptake is still too low for officials who expect a new wave to hit under-resourced hospitals. According to the Pasteur Institute director, the majority of COVID patients currently in intensive care are not vaccinated.
A hotel that once symbolised the African dream lies in ruins in Monrovia. The Ducor was West Africa's first 5-star hotel when it was built in 1960. But brutal conflict laid it low in 1989, forcing it to first shut its doors. Back-to-back civil wars then saw the Ducor lie in ruins since 2003. Plans to restore it to its former glory have yet to happen. And for now, the once iconic building remains a husk. But some still hope to see it arise from the ashes.
Because of the war, the hotel open. Even the war was fighting, it was still open. It has people. We had the interim president that was still in there. Yeah, after the war, we had the interim government, which most of them were in the building, living in the building. But after Helen took over, Gaddafi came in, decided to take over the building.
There were displaced people because after the war, people fled the place, were not functioning, so people can't reside there. They were living there, displaced. People who just can't squat us. So during the Ellen Johnson sleep, they wanted to renovate, but it never worked. So now it's just abandoned and secured by security.
Senegal's national dish is called Thieboudienne, and it's more than just food. The simple meal unites people from throughout the country, as it's a staple that most can say that they've enjoyed, sometimes daily, as part of their personal stories. It's just rice and fish, but it's nourished a nation, and now has been added to UNESCO's list of cultural heritage. France 24 travelled to Saint Louis, the birthplace of the famous fair.
Fatou Kiné does her shopping in this small grocery shop in the Bango district of Saint Louis to find all the vegetables she needs to prepare a good Thieboudienne: cabbage, turnips, carrots and tomatoes. But the most important ingredient is the catch of the day.
This fish comes straight from the sea. It's a mullet. It's ideal for rice dishes.
It takes Fatou Kiné no less than 2 hours to prepare her Thieboudienne. To season the fish, she uses spicy tomato sauce and tamarind. The mother of 3 learned to prepare this dish at the age of 12.
Thieboudienne is a special dish for me. It's the one I offer to my most important guests. I always prepare it with love and great enthusiasm.
In Senegal, Thieboudienne is a family meal. Everyone gathers around a large dish to eat it together. The news this Senegalese recipe has been added to the UNESCO World Heritage List is welcomed here with great pride.
This is very good news. I'm delighted. But I was somewhat expecting it, because the way rice is prepared in Senegal is unique in the world.
In Saint Louis, it's hoped the celebration of Senegalese gastronomy will revive local tourism undermined by COVID-19.
Thieboudienne has become a tourism product. This allows us to strengthen and promote Senegal as a destination. We are going to work with cultural actors, cinemas, theatres, music, to create a series of works that will contribute to the promotion of this UNESCO-listed dish.
After the Thieboudienne, Senegal is looking into the possibility of registering other aspects of its intangible heritage with UNESCO. A list of 59 items has been drawn up by the Ministry of Culture, including traditional dances, music styles and sports.
I'm leaving you hungry. That is, though, all we have time for on Eye on Africa this time. Thanks for joining us, and do so again if you can. Till then, take care.